you came here, there were a lot of people, largely women and children, housed in temporary places.
Yeah, I mean, whole families, including men, but the men were unemployed because violence continued for 2 to 3 months. Most of them, even if they had permanent or semi-permanent kind of jobs, they were out of jobs now. It was still not safe to travel to the city area because this area was supposed to be safe since there are more Muslims over here, but they would not be able to travel, so they did not have jobs, and most of them were unemployed. The women, of course, most of them had done either home-based work or no work at all. So largely what I saw was that a whole community had been pushed to the periphery of poverty, even though they were already poor earlier, but this was right on the other side of poverty, where you did not even have 10 rupees or 20 rupees to take your children to the hospital to do anything.
And in that period, what were you doing? What were you able to do as a volunteer?
Initially, we were just conversing with the families over here. We were, doing some kind of research work for other organizations. But then we saw that there were a lot of gaps which were left on the ground because this was a calamity, the scale of which was much larger than what even NGOs or network of NGOs would be able to grapple with. So even though NGOs had hired a lot of field workers, there was still a lot of gaps in terms of, especially in terms of, say, getting medical help or in terms of ensuring that children went to school. So those were the one or two things that I got involved with.
And just to give a sense of the calamity we're talking about, when there were tens of thousands of people who were dislocated and were living in temporary shelters of one sort or another. So take me from your arriving here, in 2002 as a trained film editor, who's doing a work with displaced people. How do you get from that to starting the organization which you are co-founder of?
When I came in 2002, as I told you, there were a lot of gaps which were left on the ground. So I and other volunteers, we tried creating systems on our own, and most of the people who had come here as volunteers were not from social work kind of background. Most were students or from other professions. But what we did realize was that if we were able to create systems without resources and without actually any kind of guidance from professional organizations. So whether it came to ensuring that if someone was ill in the camp and that person had to be reached to the government hospital, or getting doctors from outside to the camps, we were able to do it just by creating networks of people, by creating linkages with other organizations, and just by being diligent and sincere. And I think that was the first kind of lesson that I learned, that you do not have to come from a background, you do not have to even have massive resources to get things going. And because the camp people themselves were involved in this exercise, you also realize that people themselves are capable of dealing or grappling with their own situation if they're unable to do so.